What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video. Where in this one, going to talk a little bit about our right tackle, right? And we've had plenty of conversations on this channel. If you've been around, if you're a veteran of this channel, one of the OGs, you know we've had mixed feelings up and down about Braden Smith. I think a lot of the fan base has as well through the injuries and everything that was happening. But last year, things got serious. Right. And last season, he started going through some stuff, had to take some time away for mental health reasons. And like, like the things that happen on the field and getting injured and all the things that play into football, that's one thing. But mental health, at least for me, like I'm somebody that deals with, my own mental health stuff and have for a long time. So like, when it comes to mental health and the things that he was going through, specifically like I don't think people understand really what OCD is and really how that can control not only what you do, but really control the mind and really control how you view the world almost. And right, it's a difficult thing to work through. And Braden Smith has gets diagnosed with a severe form of OCD, whatever happened in his life to get him to that point, right? And for him to be in a position where physically he wasn't okay, but mentally he surely wasn't okay. And when you're not okay mentally, you're definitely it's gonna be hard to be okay physically. Like the two work hand in hand. So it's good to hear in his media availability a couple days ago, like it was just a completely different Braden Smith than I've ever seen. Even when he was young and he was a new guy, he's never really been vocal. He's never really talked a lot, but especially with the Colts doing kicking the stigma. I think that was really good for him. He's going to therapy, and of course that's really good for him. A loving wife, and that's really good for him. He's just clearly at a point where he's okay with talking about it, right? Especially offensive linemen don't ever really talk about these sorts of things, right? I've known a lot of offensive linemen in my day, right? Not NFL offensive linemen, but high school, college, NFL, like offensive linemen or offensive linemen. A lot of their characteristics are very similar, and they're not the type to really go out of their way to do the "oh poor me," you know. But here you have Braden talking about, he's talked earlier this offseason, talked about everything he went through, and now he's talking about coming back, right? And I want to go ahead. I'm going to send this over here. Angela Morian with Wish TV. She's given us some updates on training camp. We've used some of her tweets, and now we're going to use an article of hers on Wish TV's website just to kind of bring you guys over and show you what I'm looking at. Some of the quotes here. He said, "I'm in a spectacular place, honestly," Smith said. "This is probably the best I've felt in a really long time." And that's, again, him talking about mentally and physically feeling really good for the first time in a long time, which is so incredible to hear. Like from a huge, again, on the field is one thing. Like I've talked about plenty, maybe this contract being it for Braden Smith, and then he's not a Colt anymore. But when you go start talking about off the field, like it's just good to hear somebody who's, by all accounts, a really good dude, really quiet, just handles his business. Teammates obviously love him. So just really good to hear that he's in a spectacular place. Like to come back and to be able to put himself in a really good place mentally is really all you want for anybody, man. When you see people struggling mentally, like being trapped in your own head is such a helpless feeling. And him coming back from that is so huge. So many people aren't able to, right? And just for him, his loved ones, for everybody involved, everybody in his life, just glad that he's able to really come back and not only feel like himself, but feel like the best version of himself. Like it's almost cliche nowadays, but it really seems like mentally and physically he looks like he's in an incredibly healthy spot right now, and he says he is, and I love that for him. And he also has another quote here. Says, quote, I felt like I had a mental collapse and I went home, took a nap. My wife thought when I woke up I was going to be in a better spot, but I just wasn't there. Said, quote continues, it was pretty dark, and that's when we decided as a collective, like me and my wife, that I needed to go get help. So again, shout out to his wife. Like, that's the support system you want, right? And that, I'm 32 years old and single. Um, that's all you want in a partner. Like that's all. When you go to find your partner, just be supportive, right? When things aren't right, you let me know, and we'll find a way to make things right. So again, shout out to his wife, for being there with him, being there for him, being there with him through this whole situation, and helping him get back to who he was, right? Again, having those sorts of people in your life is so incredibly important. I'm just so happy that he's able to have that and able to get back, right? And another quote here. He said, I was just trying to be alive this time this year. I wasn't thinking about anything. I just wanted to find joy in life. And for a while there, it didn't feel like I was going to find that again. So just being out here is a plus for me. And I think the beginning part of that quote is really powerful. I was just trying to be alive this time this year. And again, kind of going back to what I was talking about, like being trapped in your own head. So many people don't make it out of that, which is kind of what I was alluding to. Being able to come out of that, like I've dealt with in the past, like, and I'm sure there are people listening to this that have dealt with, people you cared about that were never able to get out of that place, right? And they end up taking their own life, right? Whatever the case may be. And to be able to come out of that, I'm just so thankful for him, and I can only imagine, and actually I can't imagine, because the mental place that I'm in right now is like I feel like I found the person I used to be before I went through what I went through, and it's an incredible feeling, right? To really feel like you're you and to feel joy in life and to be thankful, right? So, being in the spot that I'm at, and really where he was at the time, it's like through this whole situation, it's like everything I thought about Braden Smith is just gone because I can relate. Like I was going through last year was the toughest year of my life. At least my adult life, I'd definitely gone through things when I was younger that were really difficult. But in terms of being an adult, like extremely difficult. What I was going through and the things I was trying to balance, and um, you know, needing to be a perfectionist in life. So many people get stuck in that, and I think through this situation with Braden, a lot that can be taken into a lot of people's lives, and you can take it, and say, hey, even even millionaires, right? These guys are multimillionaires, should have a great life, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. A lot of it in between the ears is so important, and and him being able to come back and be where he is, just inspiring is the word that I've been trying to come up with. It's inspiring, it's motivational, right? Like where you're at, right? If you're not in a good spot, just keep going, right? All the corny stuff that people say, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. It's true, man. Like I'm somebody, I just want to, my whole life, all I want to do is help people, right? On a grand stage. But in order to do things on a grand stage, you have to work on the micro and the macros, or the micros build to the macros. So working on those micro things every day, and it seems like he's doing the same thing in order to be the best version of himself. And this is talking about kicking the stigma and how important it is that the Colts are able to do it, and he can be a part of that. And he said, quote, I feel very emboldened to be able to talk about it, which is what we were talking about at the beginning, right? Because of kicking the stigma and everything around it, he feels like he can talk about it now. And he says, quote, the thing I was going through seems very taboo. You seem like you're kind of going crazy. And, I know that other people are going through the same thing. So I want to feel empowered. I want them to feel empowered hearing about my story, like seeing that I came out of the other side of it, and let them know that they're not going crazy, that this is very normal, that these things happen. So again, Like, and this was a bit, I'm not even going to lie to you, this was a part of it. When Braden talked about all his stuff earlier this offseason, I was fresh into something that tore me apart, right? And like you talk about losing myself, like I didn't know where to begin to find myself at that point. But I heard Braden talk about where he was and the fight to get back and just working daily and being diligent and having the support system. So I leaned into my people, the people that I trust, right? I always handled things on my own. I leaned into my people, started talking about it, and it just kept getting better every day. I just worked on it. I talked when I needed to talk, and it got better. And so shout out to Braden. I hope there's somebody in Braden's life that or somewhere around Braden that can hear this and let him know, like, hey, brother, at least one person out there heard your story and used it to get better. And again, just I'm glad he's at a great place. You know, talking about how he's, well, what was his exact phrasing? He said, quote, I'm in a spectacular place, honestly. So shout out to him, man, for being in a spectacular place. Being able to come back from the mental health battles is so incredible. Like, I understand not everybody goes through it, and not everybody gets to that dark of a place, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say I did, right? Like, everybody goes through their own dark places. But shout out to Braden for being able to come back. Glad he was able to find his way back, and really just be able to find who he was, man. So important for who we are as people, like beyond football. You know, being able to find the parts of himself that make him, you know, the son and the husband. And you know, to be completely honest, I don't know if he's a father, but you know, whatever aspect of his life that he wanted to come back and be the best version of himself, he's able to seemingly come back and be able to find that. So that's great news. And just wanted to update you guys. I don't know if everybody's heard his media availability in the comments that he had, but that's the update on Braden Smith. That's where we are. And just a good update here, positive update on one of our guys, our right tackle, Mr. Braden Smith, coming back, and hopefully he's able to stay healthy for 17 games. We know he's dealt with a lot of physical injury over the last couple of years, so hopefully now that his mental's right, we can keep his physical right, and everything can be copacetic as we go into the year, and hopefully you know, as we finish the year and finish the season in February, we're still at the same place where Braden Smith is in a really good place no matter how this goes. So you guys let me know your thoughts on Mr. Braden Smith down in the comment section. Hey, while you're at it, let me know how you're doing. How are you guys doing, man, in life? You let me know down in the comment section. I love to hear from you guys. Of course, if you enjoy the content, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you continue to get notified anytime we drop any content on this channel. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.